Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my channel. So today we are going to discuss commands in Linux. And the very big question is, where is the border between essential commands and non-essential commands? First, let me clarify something. Commands are not some magical words. Commands are actually programs that you are executing from command line. So how many commands are there? How many programs you have on your system? And if you install additional program that can be executed from command line, you are going to get one more command to the list. For example, if I type Python, this is going to execute Python shell. But commands change their nature according to arguments. For example, if I provide -v, I'm going to get Python version. And how to get list of arguments for some program that you want to run? Well, that's not standardized, but you have some usual options. For example, I'm going to run Python, and now with minus, usually list of options and explanations you can find with name of program minus help or minus help or minus h or minus h. Okay, I'm going to try with minus help, and here you can see a list of all arguments and explanations. Sometimes with certain argument you have to provide certain value, like in this case, Python minus m pi ftp de lib minus w minus p 10,000. So what this means that we are using Python in order to run with -m module. Module it's pyftpdlib, and these three arguments are for module pyftpdlib. So commands could easily get very complicated, but that depends on program you want to run. So now I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to show you first command that you are going to use. Clear. In order to clear your screen. Now, explanation. What this actually means. This means that my username is IrishPub, because this computer was used with IrishPub. Later on I bought it. And Fedora, it's actually name of my computer. This tilde sign means home directory. And in home directory, path D, or short for Docker, and folder name commands. Now, if you want to see path that you are at the moment in, print pwd. This is path I am presently at. Home IrishPub Docker commands. If you want to see a list of files and folders in this directory, type ls, and you can see that I have 2 files and 1 folder. And if you want to know more from this command, type ls -al, and now you have some more details. I'm going to clear this again. For example, if you want to create file, the simplest of ways is with touch. And now name of file. This // means local directory. I'm going to call it test1.txt. Okay, now if I ls it, you can see that in this directory I have now this test1.txt. And now if I want to change the content of this file, I can do it with Nano. Nano is one of the programs that you can use to edit textual content from command line. Another very popular program for the same purpose is Vim, but I like Nano better. So I want to deal with test1.txt and some content in here. In order to save this content, I'm going to type Ctrl O, and I'm going to out with Ctrl X. Now if I want to print that content out, I'm going to use command cat, and I'm going to provide path to that file. And as you can see, this is the content we just put it in it. And now if you want to copy this file, you can do it with command cp. First argument is source test1.txt, and now copy txt. So first argument is source, second argument is destination. And now I'm going to cat copy txt, and as you can see, we have the exact same content. And now you can see that we have this test1 that is folder. How to navigate inside that folder? Well, you can list the content of this folder from upper folder. But if you want to navigate inside of it, you are going to use command cd and then path. Now if I ls it, you can see that in here we have a first txt and renamed txt. I'm going to clear my screen, and now I'm going to navigate to 2 dots. 2 dots simply means upper directory. And if you want to navigate 2 directories up, you are going to use 2 dots / 2 dots once again. And now if I ls it, you can see that I'm in my Docker directory. I'm going to navigate back to commands, and here we are. And now if you want to create another directory, you are going to use command mkdir and path to that directory. So let's call it test2. Now if I ls this, you can see that we have now 2 directories. And if you want to delete this directory, you can do it with rmdir and now path to this directory, test2. Now if I ls it again, there is no test2. But now with test1 it's not the same, because test1 has some content. So if I use command rmdir to test1, you see, directory not empty. In order to delete directory that is not empty, you have to use command rm with argument rf and then path to test1. Now if I ls it, you can see that this test1 directory is deleted. So what is this command? Rm, it's command for deleting files, but argument rf says that this is going to be a recursive process, and we are going to force this deletion with argument f. Test1, it's just the path. Okay, clear screen again. And what about renaming files? Well, for renaming files, we are going to use command mv. mv stands for move. And in regards of Linux, there is no real difference between moving and renaming files. And before we continue, one important thing. If you delete files in this way in Linux, there is no undo command. So be very careful what you are deleting. If you are looking for some files, you can use command find, and first argument, it's actually location where we are going to look. So with dot, I'm saying that I'm going to look to this particular directory. And with name, we are going to say that we are going to provide a name of file that we are going to look for. And now, with asterisk, I'm saying any. With asterisk .txt, I'm saying that I want a list of all txt files from my local directory. And you can see I got it. If, for example, you want more information about some command, type man, that stands for manual, and then name of your command. And as you can see in here, you have a bunch of information about this particular command. I'm going to get out, I'm going to clear my screen. Now, just for testing purposes, I'm going to create another directory, call it test2, doesn't matter. And in test2, I'm going to create one file, but in another way, with echo. What this command means? That means that we are going to write this content. This is going to be content of this file into file test2, another file txt. In this way, we are going to create this another file txt. But what about these brackets? With this arrow brackets, we are saying that we are going to append this content to this file if it exists. If not exists, we are going to create it. If you use only a single arrow bracket, that means that whatever content is present in this file at the moment, all of it is going to be replaced. So this command basically means create and write. This command actually means create and append. And I'm going to execute it. Now if I cat test to another file txt, you are going to get this content. And now when you are reading some files, there are better ways to do it. For example, if you have some huge file, you don't have to read it with cat. You have 2 more commands. You have commands head and another copy txt. What head does, if this file is huge, for example, head is going to read only beginning, first portion of this file. If you use command tail, and path to a textual file, you are going to get only ending portion of this file. In this case, we got the same content because this is single line file. But if you do this on some huge file, you are going to see noticeable difference. And there is one more interesting way to use tails with command F. What is this going to do? If I execute this command, you see that this is ongoing process. With this command, we are going to monitor every change in this file. And this could be very useful if you are dealing with reading logs and things like that. If you want to break process, type Ctrl Z. And now I'm going to clear my screen once again. Now, with this command, let me show you which one. We created file, and this is what is called piping. Why? Because we are providing output from one command into another command. In this way we created another file. If we just use echo with this content, we are just going to get this content printed to the screen. But with piping we created file. And now I'm going to teach you proper way to pipe content from process to process. For example, with command ps -aux, we are going to get all of processes, list of all of processes that are working at the moment on my machine. But if I execute this command and if I pipe it with this vertical line, this means piping, into command grep, and for grep I'm going to provide argument Python. What is this going to do? That entire list of processes that I'm getting with px -aux is going to be piped into grep Python command. And grep Python command, what is going to do? It's going to list that entire content and it's going to filter it. So at the output I'm going to get only those lines with Python mentioned in it. Let me show you. But what we can do also, with this command, we can also pipe into a file. Result.txt. You see? Now if I ls this directory, I'm going to see a result. And if I cat this result.txt, I got the same content. So piping is actually very handy. I'm going to clear it again. And I almost forget it. We started the story about moving command, but I didn't execute it. I started talking about moving command, but I actually never showed you how it works. So with mv, first source, then destination. So source is going to be another copy txt and into moved.txt. If I ls it now, you see we don't have another copy txt, but we have moved. If we cat move.txt, that's the content. Next step, I already showed you command ps -aux, but there is much better way to deal with this. There is command top. You see, I got a list of processes. I'm going to get out, and even better program for this purpose, it's htop. If you don't have this program installed, please install it because it's very handy. It shows both memory usage, both usage of your processor, number of processes, and many other interesting things. This htop and processes, it's actually a topic for its own episode. We are not going to get into it right now. I'm going to get out from it. I'm going to clear it again. And now, with command df -h, we are going to get content of my hard drive. And what this -h actually means in human readable form. And as you can see in here, my drive is used by 43%. And you can find a lot of interesting information in here. There is another way with du -sh. With this command in human readable form, I got the size of directory that I'm in at the moment. With command free -h, I got some information about my RAM memory. Okay, I'm going to clear all of this once again. And now one program that is very interesting if you want to get some information about local computer, it's fast fetch. Long ago it was known as NeoFetch, so if you got yourself on some other distribution, it is possible that it's still named that way. In here you can see that I have a list of many relevant information about my machine. If you use command uname -a, you are also going to get some relevant information about local machine. And if you use command who am I, you are going to get a name of a user. So this is my active user at the moment. With command ID, I'm getting additional information about this user. Now I'm going to clear this once again. More interesting commands like uptime. Oh, let me not forget about command with which we can get path of some programs. So as argument, we are going to provide program name. So let's go with Python. And you can see that Python it's in USR bin. I'm going to clear this. Now with ls USB, you can see all of USB devices on my machine. With ls CPU, you are going to get information about my processor. There is also lsblk for hard drive. You can also use one interesting command with fdisk -l. If you don't have permission, you have to provide sudo. Sudo means a super user do. And now I'm going to use fdisk -l. With sudo, you have to provide your root password. And here is the data. And don't forget about if config. This is data about your network connection, like IP, the most important one. Now, if you are interested into networking, there is one command that you simply must know and must be used with sudo. With sudo netstat -tanop, and I'm going to grep only Python. So this command netstat is going to return all of processes connected to ports, but I want only those ports that is Python using. And there is only one. I'm going to clear this once more. And now if you want to see all of commands you executed previously, use command history and you are going to get this entire list. So guys, I hope that you learned something new and interesting, so please like, subscribe and see ya!